Hi everybody, this is Kevin, and welcome back to another comic book review. And today we're going to take a look at a trade paperback, Mera, Queen of Atlantis, written by Dan Abnett and drawn by Lan Medina. And well, I had picked this book up because I had read one of the Aquaman Giants a few months ago, and I think it was issue 3 of this. This is a 6-issue miniseries, and issue 3 was in that Aquaman Giant. The artwork was terrific. The storyline was okay. It was in the middle of the issue, so I didn't really know much of what was going on. It was kind of a filler issue of the series, but the artwork was terrific, and the book it was cheap enough. I mean, I got it from in-stock trade, so it's always half off, and it's $17, so I got it for like $8. And really, Mera's hot, so that's why I'm going to confess that's the reason why I got it. Look at that cover. You're going to see, I'm not going to fawn over every single page, but you can see Mera is in there to be sexy and hot, and that's just the bottom line. So this came out in 2018. It takes place in the middle of the Aquaman series from DC Rebirth from 2016, which Dan Abnett actually wrote for many issues in the beginning there. And once again, like I said, the drawings, all the covers here by Nicola Scott and Romulo Fajardo Jr. All the covers are terrific. And well, starts off with Orm here, Ocean Master, with a little boy, Tommy, who refers to him as Daddy. And that's his mother, Erin. And, well, Orm, I guess, was banished from Atlantis and has taken over, found a new leaf, taken over a new life. And they're on the news here talking about how the so-called mermaid wife of Arthur Curry, the Aquaman, she is royalty in the civilization of Atlantis and has recently won public acclaim serving with the Justice League. And you see Orn hears that, and he just breaks the glass while doing the dishes, and he can't stand the sight of it because Aquaman's his half-brother. And I guess this is sort of the fallout of Aquaman banishing Orm. You got Mera. Like I said, I'm not going to fall over every page here, but I mean, just speaks for itself. So what happened is she's on the surface here because she had lost her powers in, I guess, one of the previous issues, Aquaman issue number 30. And there's an Atlantean Civil War going on there between Xebel and Atlantis and all sorts of other stuff. So this is how she was a princess of Xebel, which is a warring faction under the sea. And, well, she just fell in love with Arthur. And this is her trainer, Lerone, who taught her how to do battle. So she's drained of her power. She can't really summon the water like she used to. And if she does, her powers just leave her quickly, so she has to think swiftly and use her hands and her head. And she's back there, and you got the Justice League shows up. This is Tula, who is also an Atlantean who's living on Earth, and you got Superman and Wonder Woman saying, well, how are your powers? You want us to get involved? Because this King Wrath here has seized control of Atlantis as the new king. And they're saying, should we get the League? Should we call the League, get them involved? And Mera said, no, they can't meddle in royal affairs and Atlantis affairs. And I don't know where Arthur went, but I guess he's been shunned or whatever, so Mera has to do the dirty work. So here she goes to the State Department, and, this was written in 2018, but we got a female Secretary of State. Hillary Clinton? I mean, a little too late there. That's like 2012, isn't it? But, they're talking about how she's in love with Arthur. It's having the romance here. It's having this sense of humanity with Orm and his newfound family. And he's looking, he says, I got to leave, because he heard on the news about the Civil War in Atlantis. And he says, well, if my half-brother can't do it, I got to go down there and do it. So Tommy's talking about how, he's going to go fishing with his dad. And he can't find his dad. And there's a note here to Erin, sorry, you got to go. And, well, he leaves. So Mera is having a dream, and she wakes up and says, I gotta go. And there's Orm. And he's on his way. Well, he went to Lighthouse Point or wherever it was where they live. And he's talking to Mera saying, I gotta go. And she's like, no, you're a villain. You can't go out there. And they're having a talk here. Like I said, every drawing of Mera, I mean, absolutely beautiful. So she's pleading for him not to go. And they have a duel. They start fighting. Stabs her with the trident there. Obviously, saw she lost her power. She can't breathe underwater. So she's fighting back, trying to use the little power she can. Tula shows up, who's actually Ornn's half-sister. And they're doing battle, trying to tell him not to go, summoning the water. Great color, great drawing of the waves there. Absolutely terrific. So in the midst of all this battling, he's about to strike down, and all of a sudden you say, the oldest enemy of Atlantis will not win through such subterfuge. It's time we end this once and for all. Dad? And Tommy shows up. Dad, what are you doing? What are you doing to that lady? So then it shows here in Xebel. This is another flashback of how Mera learned from Nereus. You know, in the movie, Nereus was Mera's father, but in this, Mera was actually supposed to marry Nereus, but she fell in love with Arthur. So he's about to strike her down, and Aaron's saying, Orm, you can't do this, Daddy. What are you doing? Don't hurt her. And he hugs the boy, and he can't make that kind of example in front of his, I guess, adopted son or whoever. So this is actually the issue that I read in that Aquaman Giant, which I said is kind of a filler because they're just sitting here drinking coffee. But obviously you had 2 issues prior to that. And they're trying to make their plans to go down to the sea. Erin's saying, well, maybe you should. She really didn't want him to leave at first, but after hearing him out, she kind of agrees, especially with Tula here, who's Ornn's half-sister. So he hugs his son there, and Aaron is I guess, bride-to-be or whoever, and Mera and Ornn make way for Atlantis. So they go down there, and Mera's saying, we got to be diplomatic about it. We can't strike to kill, and Ornn's there killing people. And she's like, what did I tell you? So then Nereus and Lerone show up, and you got like the Kraken. They summon the Kraken to do battle. That's Nereus' mother, and she has a sort of liking to Mera. She's in control of all the sea monsters down there. Great drawings of like these sea monsters and the Kraken and whatnot. It cuts to King Wrath, and Mera is basically saying, well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So won't you join us to take out the false king? And he's like, well, no, we can't do that because I want to be king of Atlantis too. And she's like, well, please. What's going to happen here, what she explains, is that she will be the new queen of Atlantis since Arthur, I guess, has been shunned. And so she'll be in charge, and she'll have a nice treaty with Xebel. So they go on with that. They're going to have a duel. Ornn is trying to scheme behind the scenes to get Xebel to help him. And then so Tula dresses up here. She's going to go down there and see if she can help her brother, but she gets abducted by Nereus' men. So there's going to be a battle for the crown here. And what's happening is Mera's, finally got her powers back, and she's using them. And Lerone shows up and challenges her to a duel, but he's really just training her because he still loves her from when she was a child, when he trained her in the very beginning. He is sort of like the Vulco to Arthur. And they're having a feast before the games begin here. And what's going to happen is they're finally getting their ducks in a row to see if Nereus will join them. But they're saying there needs to be a duel here. And what happens is Ornn betrays Mera here in the fact that Tula's here. And what he said behind the scenes is that Tula will wed Nereus so that she can also, be blood relative. So she's the half-sister of Ornn, right? So then if she marries Nereus, Ornn will also be the king. So it'll be like a family dynasty of all the kingdoms, and it's sort of like royal England or whatever. I don't know. So Mera's like, I'm not having this. And, Nereus has all his men surround her, and there will be a battle. So Mera agrees to have a duel with Ornn to decide who the rightful king of Atlantis will be. If she defeats him, she'll be the queen. If Ornn wins, he'll be the king. And so they have a duel. Great action. Going back and forth. And, Mera is able to just fake him out and summon the beasts against him and is able to win. So you see her eyes glow at the very end with her powers. And she's able to do it. Kneel before your queen. Look at that. I'd kneel before her, wouldn't you? So, with all that being said, Tula is free from Nereus' clutches. They will not wed. and everyone sort of embraces each other. And what happens is Tula comes back, and Aaron and Tommy are waiting for Orrin to show up. And, well, Orrin doesn't show up because he must go to prison now for his crimes of conspiracy, which is kind of sad. He didn't get the nice ending that you would have hoped, but he's obviously a villain. And Mera says that, how many second chances can we give you? So, look at that at the end there. Absolutely terrific. I mean, I loved it. Just the beautiful, sexy drawings of Mera. I mean, let's see if we can get it one. We'll just flip open one. Yeah, look at that. We just flipped right up into one. Look at that right there. Excellent. Absolutely loved looking through that. The storyline was great. I mean, you can get this book cheap. It's a fun read. You know, no one talked about it. I follow a lot of the comic review channels, and this book came out in 2018. From like February to July, a 6-issue miniseries, and no one talked about it. And I read it the other day. Absolutely terrific. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. A little bit long. I guess the trade paperbacks go a little longer than the floppies, but it was worth it. So let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and stay tuned for some more comic book reviews coming soon. Have a great day, everybody.